2, probably beat it. See how long this goes, see what everything does. So, yeah. I know nobody's currently on here. Laxical, I'll do normal mode. So, as you well know, Mega Man 1 and has all of these guys. This one is, you know, Quick Man is the jerk. Metal Man is usually the easy route. Oh, apparently it tells me that the content quality isn't good enough. Hang on, I'll pause and see if I can alter things. Maybe I can... Oh, audience is now accessing... I don't know, maybe that was just a warning. Okay, it says they're both being broadcasted, so we'll go on. This is Airman. Obviously it's a platformer, so if I fall, I die. I think these guys are called Kami, which would be Japanese for God or deity type thing. Little guys, I don't remember what they're called. They can be a pain if you get stuck in the middle of these things, because they just keep coming while you're on top of them. But this is the easy part of it, you know, just jumping along, enjoying myself. Those guys in the clouds can be annoying. They throw their lightning at you, kind of a lobbing motion. Thankfully, this particular, Mega Man, you run and gun, the PlayStation, or the legacy version of it, has one of your buttons be a, auto fire, so that's why I can easily fire all these bullets really quickly. This Mega Man was before the decision to allow him to charge up his buster. That was Mega Man 4. It's also before sliding, so I can't slide. So this is about as fast as you can run. Oh, I got hit by that egg. Those are called Schworms, I think? I don't really know why they name so many things, what they name them. Alright, here's the most dangerous jump of the whole game. Not really. Nope, but I died. Alright, well, it happens, you know. Puts me right back here, so it's not too bad. This time I'll try not to, you know, go too fast. That was probably what caused my death. That was close. Alright, here's some big guys with fans. Yeah, I've probably played this one a little bit too much, but that's okay. Alright, time to face Airman himself. There's always this room before bosses. In the first game, there were bad guys in that room, and it was a lot longer. Airman's pretty easy. He throws 2 of these things of wind, which you can... 3 of them, sorry. Then he jumps across to the other side and throws them backwards. That's all he does. You can pretty much beat him by continuously firing like that and trying to dodge, but even if you fail, like, keep firing. Even on hard difficulty, if you have maximum hit points, you know, that's what you'll win. Then he also gives you the rush jet. Well, no, it's not rush. Rush is next game. But essentially, it's a rush jet. It just, you know, you place it there and then it just goes forward. It's really helpful. Kind of. I mean, I don't use it too much, to be honest. But there's some points in the game you absolutely need it. Alright, well, Airman's particularly good against Crash Man, so I'm gonna face Crash Man. They're definitely some weapons that help on this stage, because these guys, Woodman's weapon in particular, like, lets you just get rid of them. This also has great music, I think. Not necessarily, like, for the type of game it is, it's great music. I mean, I do prefer more of the, like, whatever Final Fantasy would throw out, but I'm not that picky with my music. I know some people that are, but, you know, to each their own. Sorry. So yeah, as you can see, there's just a moving platform. You have to jump on it, wait for it to maneuver. Again, Woodman, I mean, it'll just put his... so the way these guys form is very... I mean, there's 3 spots they form from, and it's... The first one's always that bottom one on the right side, and the second one's always the top one on that, and the third one's always the left. So you can use that to manipulate where they are. Now we climb a tower. Crashman, for some reason, is up on the very top of a really high tower. Airman's was almost all in the air. As you noticed, in the previous stage, if I fall, I die. In this stage, a lot of times if you fall, you just go to the 1 frame lower. This spot is just a pain. Let's see if I have it set up. Well, it's not, because, yeah, it's that. But, yep. But if you do it right, like this, he'll just keep on dropping his egg over there. So you have to be in the far right one, and then if you shoot to the right, it'll make him spawn from the right. Because if you shoot to the left, he'll spawn to the left, and then he'll hit something with the egg. Alright, so this item here is an E-Tank. It's very helpful. I mean, very helpful. Even if, like, you're good. And normally you'd have to go all the way back down, but because I have that item, there's a better item for that, but that's one I have, and it will work. Yep, Mega Man cannot change weapons and hold on to ladders. So you can... Oh, I failed to. You could have stood there and killed those things and gotten power-ups to heal health. So this Crashman, he can be difficult. He jumps whenever you attack. And he jumps really quickly, so if you use the Buster, like, you will miss. But other than that, he walks back and forth, and then he jumps whenever you attack. Whenever he jumps, he fires his bomb on the ground. So, I mean, even without his weapon, which, as you saw, hit him twice and he died. 3 times, I think, in the hard, difficult mode. Alright, Crash is good against, I think, Flashman. But Flashman's kind of eh. Let's see, with Airman, I have a thing for that. Yeah, sure, we'll do Flash. Oh, hang on just a sec, I got a message from someone I gotta reply. Alright. So, time for some Flashman stage. Now this is ice. As you can, I'm not moving. Like, it's slippery. So it has all that weird physics. If you jump, then it stops your movement. And if you get hit, your, like, reaction, whatever, sends you back. Now these blocks require a crash bomb, and that's very important later. there's a stage later on that's a pain in the butt because you have to destroy a bunch of those. I think I can make it up here with this. There's, like I said, there's an item that's much better for this. Nope, I can only have one of those out at a time, so I guess I'm not getting that extra. That's okay. We'll be fine. So crash bombs, I know is Flashman's weakness, but it's really hard to get them to work. So the general rule here is if it's difficult to get to a spot, it's probably the best way to go. This one I don't always get, but I got. Oh, I just missed being able to power up something because I forgot. I don't remember which way. I don't know if it matters. It doesn't. Alright, here, I'm just gonna play it safe. I should be able to make those jumps, but after every stage, so alright, so Crash Bomb is his weakness, but it's really difficult to get it to work right for him. Like, if he uses his Time Stopper, he has Time Stopper ability, while the explosion is happening, and he's in the explosion, it does tons of damage to him. Well, even that does. Oh, bad spot. Okay, I think I have him. If I can hit him again. Oh, shoot. No! I'm gonna die. I'm not even gonna try Crash Bombs this time, but I can't because it's all gone, as you can see. There you go. See, I shouldn't have used Crash Bombs to begin with. Oh my gosh, my phone is blowing up. Alright. He gives item 3, I believe, and, of course, his ability, which is stops time. So his weapon's good against... I mean, I basically have everything that's gonna make Quick Man easier. His is not a fun stage. And you'll see why. And I might even have to continue on it. I hope not, but I might. We'll see. So Quick Man, he's quick. He's a pain in the butt. His stage is also just horrible. And I'll show you what item 3 does. So it creates a little platform. Alright. Now, it's been a little while, so hopefully I don't have to remember too much about this section, but these lasers that go back and forth, those are insta-death. And in that darkness there is some dumb thing with how they use the backgrounds and whatnot to create that effect for this spot. And when people do stuff to like skip large areas and whatnot and do this quickly, it ends up getting messed up, so this is always what the background's like. Alright, here's the hard part. Let's see if I can remember. Well, so far. Yep, this is that. this one has some dumb crap where you need to actually, like, do that or else it won't work. And even then... Oh my gosh. First try. Been a long time. These guys all suck. We made it. Alright. His quick man's fast, his weakness is flash, but unlike most people, I'm not going to use it right away because it completely just stops all of everything he does, so I'm going to wait until I know it'll be the most effective. Or, like, it'll be guaranteed to kill him. Like now. Then we just sit here and wait. But yeah, he moves really quick. It's really hard to track him, to hit him. And as you saw, like, I dealt maybe half his life in damage, and he got me down that far. And I'm on the easy difficulty. Not very good. For all of that. But he gets quick boomerang, which is actually a pretty good weapon that's very underutilized. Alright. Time to face Metal Man. Now, he has all these conveyor belts, so be careful. That'll happen. I just didn't jump in time. Gosh, I really hope that sound of my phone doesn't keep on going there. I'm in a group chat with people and... yeah, apparently. I don't know. So these things are a pain. But... and you can't jump over them. Unless you're in your invincibility frames, then you can. It's really weird. I mean, you'll probably take damage if you try, and they are invincible. And there's enough, as you can see, for that. But this section's after it, and these things drop all sorts of power-ups, and they will spawn indefinitely. And so, like, you can power, or, you know, refill your ammo and such here, but you're probably going to end up leaving it without it being completely full just because it's a pain in the butt to get past it, and so... Alright, this spot here is just an extra. Oh my gosh, those people. It's like they didn't get the memo. These guys are interesting. And can be a pain. But over with some stuff. So these can things in the harder difficulty, like, break apart when you shoot them once. And then when you shoot them the second time, they come together. You can only have 4 of those E-tanks. I currently have 4. I didn't check beforehand, so I might have... that might have been nothing for me. Alright, here he is. As you can see, he has the conveyor on the bottom to make things interesting. He doesn't fire at you unless you fire at him. If you get too close, he jumps sides. But, yeah. When you're doing it with a lot of people, fight that guy first, because metal blades are awesome. And if you do that, like, you'll have to fire at him. If you just stay kind of far away and then jump and fire, he'll fire at you and usually miss. Gotta get the timing down. Alright, time to face Bubble Man, the obligatory water stage. So these frogs are interesting. All the big frog does is spew out these 3 tiny ones, but if there's still one tiny one on the screen, like there, they won't do it. But when there's none, of course they do it. These are jumping quick blocks, as we've all grown to love from Mario games and such. These guys are kind of jerks, because you kind of fall into them a lot, but other than that... Alright, we'll show off these metal blades, because... Oh, never mind. I keep forgetting about stuff. Mainly this screen. Down here, there's these big fish things. That die really quickly to these metal blades, which is why they're awesome. And of course those spiky things up there are insta-death, so don't jump too high. It's more of a forcing you to get used to underwater physics. Now we're out, and now crabs fall on us. And time to fight Bubble Man. Oh my gosh, more messages. Alright, here's Bubble Man. His pattern is a bit more interesting, but he's pretty easy, especially with his weakness. Alright, hang on a sec, I need to respond to this. Alright, so Bubbles is good against heat, which, I mean, half the time it works like that, half the time it works the other way in these games, but whatever. This stage is about the only stage that I have huge problems with beating first, or specifically before getting a certain item. And I'll let you know where and why. And I mean, it's just practice, but... and memorization, but like... I don't know. It's not one that I did a lot of. So these guys can actually be killed with bubbles. For some reason. Right, this is the spot where you can use this. So they have all these disappearing and reappearing platforms. That one I could get by without that item, like, that's not the worst, but it's a little bit annoying. those spots, I mean, you just do the disappearing block thing. It's up here that I have a problem with. So, they have these appearing blocks, and if you don't know the pattern, once you get here, it'll start to kill you. Like, one mistake and you fall. I did not get that extra. I'm okay with this. Sometimes you can get it. Alright, these guys are immune to metal blades, but air does that to them. Alright, so this guy will open up with shooting a bunch of flames at you, and you have to do a really tiny hop in order to dodge the first attack, but so we'll see if I get that. Other than that, it's... Oopsie, that was really bad. But then he does that, which, I mean, timing. So that's Heat Man. That just leaves us with Wood Man. Oh, Heat Man gives us item number 1, which, in case you were wondering, missing that, which just has hovering platforms and can produce up to 3 of them. So it's very good for climbing stuff. There's a spot where they make you use it early on. And the Wily stages, because after you defeat all the masters, you fight Wily. I'm doing very bad as an actual, like, let's play type thing. I'm just streaming and testing, so we will see what is up later, because I have plans, and Mega Man is not the primary one of them. It's just something I know I can do fairly well. But yeah, I have some friends that have some games we're gonna do together, and so this is me just making sure that we can do it. Well, that my part allows for it. So there's a few interesting tricks with some of these weapons. You might notice it takes 4, I have to fire 4 of these blades for it to use one of my bars of energy. If you fire 3 and then switch weapons, and then switch back, you get 4 more fires before it takes up 1, which, I mean, is good to know, I guess. It's definitely not something I'm going to try to abuse, because that sucks. But, like, the last guy of the game uses specific, or is weak to exactly 1 power that has that ability, and takes a lot of hits. And so I will use that if I need to make sure that I win, instead of having to die and use up a continue. So, a lot of people like using metal blades against this boss, which, I mean, it's good against this boss. Works fairly well. His technical weakness is fire, but I get why people... A, the stage, Heat Man's stage is a little bit difficult, so I get that. And B, it's kind of, you need to charge it up for it to be worthwhile. So, and I'll show you it, because why not? And then especially the timing of the first one, like, it seems like you have to wait 1 whole extra cycle than you want. Let's see. Like, right there I wanted to fire, but he would have put the shield up in time. And then nothing would have happened. But yep, he just one-shots with a fully charged shot. You just gotta wait a little bit. And I failed to dodge his things, but sometimes it works. Now I have a leaf shield. The infamous Dr. Wily and his eyebrows. So yeah. His machines are kind of like, what can we do to be super annoying noise-wise? So you may notice I definitely have a hierarchy type of thing of how I use those items, which, I mean, probably isn't super relevant, but if item 3 can get me through, I do it because it is the one that's, like, has the least use. It requires wall, whatnot. I don't need that energy behind him. Up here, you would be able to make it with item 2 if you could place more than one, but you cannot. There's a way to do that by using one less platform and not firing it way at the bottom like I did, but that works, so I keep on doing it. Now, this is just an annoying boss, one that if they would remake this, I'd really hope they would come up with something slightly different as a gimmick to do with him, but... So, of course, falling kills me. Those two higher up ones indicate where he's gonna break through. The screen scrolls a little bit slower than you move. And then... Yep. And that's about how easy he is, but he usually knocks you down once, so you have to make sure you land on something if he hits you. And I haven't figured out how to dodge him, because as long as you don't die from falling, you're probably gonna survive. This part... That energy is to make sure that you get number 2 to have more power, but it doesn't need it because it's at full. So yeah, I mean, you can sit here and power up against these guys all day. So here they kind of trick you, like your energy's getting kind of low and you're like, oh shoot, I need to get there. But if you wait until here, you get an energy tank and I think an extra and a bunch of other crap instead of, and some recharges instead of bad guys. So it's a lot easier to go this way, but I mean, unless you know about it beforehand, you're gonna jump at the first time because you're getting low on things. So there's an extra and an energy tank that I could get if I used crash bombs, but I don't need an energy tank. Won't do anything. I don't think that I need that guy. Plus, it's a crash bomb, even though I can recharge everything right here if I wanted to. To some extent I do, but disappeared. Oops. There we go. There's that extra I didn't get. Kinda don't like my current health. There we go, that helps. See, these things are more beneficial to me than harmful. This spot's a weird spot, because it's just a weird spot. Go. That was like the one time it didn't matter yeah, it probably didn't matter because I can get that, but I don't need it. Alright, this guy's weakness is Bubbles. Bubbles is like the dumbest frickin' power ever. I kill you with Bubbles. It sounds weak, but it's like one of the stronger weapons in this game for some reason. I mean, I guess it's bubble lead? I don't know. Ah! I took damage. I am a failure. There we go. I know all these bosses have names. I don't really remember what they are. There's a lot of random numbers and crap in it. I think that one has the word devil in it because, like the previous one, it's a bunch of little things. The yellow devil splits into things. So, I think that's why that one has that. Let's see here. Don't need an E-tank. I probably don't need that energy because I'll use up a lot of energy just to get it. Oh well, that's fine. I'm sure I'll get an opportunity to replace my bubble lead. Especially because I know that that's what I need. So here, there's another thing every Mega Man seems to have. Falling pits of spike-lined walls. And pretty soon we're coming up on probably the most forgettable boss. Oh, see, I could have used that energy. Here, we'll refill Bubbles with this. And then we'll be pink again. So this boss has something weird, and I've never... Because it's so easy, I've never really tried, but like, when you're damaged, you can hit him. He doesn't get iframes, it seems like, while you have iframes. And so that ends up happening a lot. There's some way to jump on him and dodge him and whatnot. I mean, but I've never really gotten him to get to the point where he attacks, because I do that all the time. Alright. So now it's time for the stage, this one. So the boss of this particular stage, people hate, for a good reason. And they should, because it's just, I mean, there's things about it. If you have multiple guys, you can do some things to make it so that he's easier for extra guys, although you have to spend more time trying to fill up your power. You have exactly enough energy with a particular weapon in order to kill him and do everything. But you can use some of, well, you have to use some of that energy to, I'll finally be showing you what item number 1 does. But, you have to use some of that energy in order to get to some of the things to attack them. And so if you break all of the blocks that do that, it's easier to get to all the things instead of having to do specifically the ones that you need. Oh yeah, there's invisible floor there and I don't want to deal with it. But anyway, so you could destroy all those and they remain destroyed, and then you just have to defeat the things that are him. So you could do that. So this is how Leaf Shield works, because this is the same type of thing as that one stage. It just kills them. Keep on going. I can't move while this is on, because if I move, I throw the shield. I'll show you. Here, I'll push down. So, this spot. A lot of people like to use item 1 to make this area a little bit quicker. And, I mean, the TAS for sure is going to, but switching between them, like, it almost feels like it's not that much of a time saver. Oh yeah, and then the corridor before the boss is a pain in the butt. It's a bunch of those guys. That was specific. Oopsie. That's right, it's about the only time I would use Leaf Shield. The boss it's effective against is Airman, and Airman's just easy enough without it. So this one you can use item 1 and you can use item 2. I like item 2. And you think you can actually do it without an item, but I don't know. Not doing as great as I'd like. Alright, some health is always good. So with those guys, if you jump right as they land, they can, they won't stop and fire. So this is what I'm talking about. You can only destroy, oopsie. Alright, if we're gonna do this. Okay, we're not gonna do this. There's just so much lag. You also, oh, if you can go into it, you gotta be very careful about your health because you can't pause while that bomb is out. But you can also, oopsie, if you're going in and out, it won't necessarily hit you. And as you can see, it used up exactly all of my crash bombs. And you don't get any energy recharges on the next stage. You can die, but then you lose all your E-tanks. So the next stage is a boss refight, and the next stage is the defeat Wily. Because it's a bonus extra stage. Let me see here if I can remember which one is Quickman, because I like defeating him first because he's the hardest. Here he is. So his boomerangs deal less damage than he does, but That doesn't mean that he is easy. Alright, then Heatman's actually Wily's weakness, so I'm gonna try to not use it on Woodman. One of the problems with Bubble Man is a lot of times, because you don't need to move, yeah, you'll, use Woodman. Yeah, because you don't need to move him. He, I screwed that one up a little bit. A lot of times you'll be standing in there, and then you'll teleport out. But yeah, you'll probably notice I'll use Metal Man on a ton of these bad guys. Because I've already used it on like 2 of them, and I'll be using it on probably 2 more. This should be Crash Man. Yep. And because I like to keep Bubble Man's heart for the last stage. And yes, Metal Man dies to one of his own blades, 2 of them on the harder difficulty. I hope I'm remembering Yep, 1 hit. Okay, that's just doing nothing. I don't want to die, because then I have to go through. That stage again. I think I don't have to refight them until I continue, but it doesn't help me. Alright. Time for the last stage, which consists of some traps and 1 bad guy, so I should be able to do this. Let's see, we're on 49 minutes of me doing that, so I would say I'm probably gonna get sub 1 hour. I would also say that's not necessarily impressive. Some people might think it is, but I mean, I know like the TAS is like 20 minutes and stuff like that, so this guy we need to hit, I think it's 14 times in this difficulty. This is the easier difficulty. This is a very disorienting fight. He just does figure 8 and fires at you at intervals. But of course, like I said, it's somewhat disorienting. Ah! That's what happens when you scratch your nose. You might be able to notice that, like, I'm trying to take my hits everywhere that I can, but I do a lot better when I'm on a particular side of him, so I do not want to die. Mainly because then I have to deal with this, and it's just, I have those energy tanks, I might as well use them. Ooh, that was painful. How was that painful? Whatever. One more hit and I win. But yeah, I guess any other weapon will heal him. And I don't even know how much, because I've not been willing to try, like, bringing him down really low and then healing him, because I don't want to deal with this fight that long, but, yep. Well, that was me doing that. Kind of curious about the fact that normally if I record this on my PlayStation 4, and upload it, I mean, it's limited to like an hour. But this I'm streaming, I don't know how long it will stream. Oh well, this ending's boring anyway, so. Well, thank you all, and bye-bye.